All right, good evening. We are live. This is Attorney Vincent Davis, and this is Meet the CPS Defense Experts and Advocates. My name is Vince Davis. I've been an attorney for almost 35 years, and I practice primarily in the area of CPS defense of parents and relatives. And our law firm also sue social workers on behalf of family members where their civil rights have been violated. My guest this evening is Deanna Owen. Deanna is also from California. But before we begin our interview and questioning by Deanna, I'm going to play a clip of a movie about CPS that has been released in the public domain. And if you have a chance to watch it, I suggest you find this movie and you watch the whole thing. So stand by, Deanna, while I play this clip.
They say that they're interested in taking care of the little innocent ones. They're not taking care of our son. They told us they could do a better job than us, Doc. That's what they said.
If I could say anything to a mother who just got their children detained, you're in a crisis. Life feels like it's over. The most important thing is regaining custody of your children.
The child welfare system at its core is designed to protect children who need protection. Okay, and that's key, is who need protection.
So social workers, out of fear, will remove more children rather than only remove those children that truly need to be removed.
The difference between the criminal system and the child welfare system is substantial. You have more rights as a criminal than you do as a parent.
You're not proving your guilt, innocence, or anything. You're proving how better a parent you are to the system. And you're just driving to be the parent.
Typically associate blessing with this fictional, painless existence and things going as we think they should.
It's so frustrating when you're the parent and you feel like, the judge, he doesn't know. And like you said, who is he going to believe? The parents accused of these horrendous allegations, or the social worker? Why would she lie about it?
The kids are traumatized, and the one person that they need to go to is still unsure what really happened.
Were there signs there? Were there no signs? Did I miss them? Did I catch them? At this point, I honestly don't know.
Families only get a finite amount of time to reunify.
The families are destroyed, sometimes never to come back the same.
Come here. Kids are not safe in child protective services.
So my son with special needs has been in 4 different homes. It doesn't seem real.
This isn't someone stole your car. Someone broke into your house. This someone took your child, your flesh and blood.
Okay, that was a movie that's out in limited release. I believe it's showing right now at different film festivals. It showed at a film festival here in Los Angeles, but I highly recommend that everyone see that movie. All right, we're going to get to our guests. Deanna, why don't you give us a brief introduction to yourself and how you are involved in a CPS system?
Well, false allegations were made on me and the kid's father. And we told the worker that we were moving. And they assumed we were on the run. And they came and removed my children to the place that we were at. We were currently in a motel. The kids had everything they needed. They had just got done eating, about to get into a bath. And I'm just trying to do what I can. I just got back out to California because they transferred my kids back out here. Even though I had a place to live out there, I had everything. I did all the classes out there, but they wanted me to turn around and do it out here again, even though I did the classes out there. So I'm basically having to start over.
Are your children in foster care right now?
Yes.
And when is the next court hearing, and what type of hearing is it?
It's for, they gave me reunification services. And I believe it's the beginning of January.
Have you been able to participate in all of your reunification services?
I did out there in Washington, but they wanted me to turn around and do it out here. And I have appointments set for all the classes they need me to do.
Okay, but have you started doing them? Because January is around the corner.
Yes, I know. I have because they don't allow you to do walk-ins with the whole virus thing. I have appointments set for this month because it was a struggle to get out here to California. My car broke down and they wouldn't help me get out here. I had to figure it out on my own.
Okay. What I would do is if you have a court-appointed attorney or private attorney, I would contact them, because if you've done the classes and the services in another state, you're supposed to get credit here in California. So in your county,
yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, I mean, I don't think that. I know that. So please, Deanna, I want you to talk to your attorney about that. All right, because they can contact your service providers in Washington, and that person or persons can provide letters, can provide certificates of completion, can provide progress reports, so that you get the credit for doing what you've done in Washington. And maybe, at this next hearing, or even before the next hearing, you can get your children back, or get unmonitored visits with them, or, expanded visitation.
Yeah, I mean, I've been out here almost, I believe, almost a month, and I've contacted my CPS worker, and he was supposed to set up visits, physical visits, because right now I'm doing the whole seeing them over Skype. And he hasn't returned my calls or my messages or anything. And the boys, I need to see them.
Right. How old are your children?
4 and 2.
Okay. Now, before we started the show, did you mention to me that you have more than 2 children, or just the 2 children?
I have 4 other boys that the court had adopted out because they felt like I couldn't care for them, but my boys had everything. I had an apartment. I had everything they needed.
So it's very important.
I no longer I haven't talked to my boys in 5 years, and the 4 older boys.
Okay, well, it's very important that you come up with a plan with your attorney for this next court hearing, because if you've already had children that were terminated from your rights, they're going to be looking to do that. They're leaning towards that anyway. So you want to make sure that you do everything possible so that that doesn't happen to you. Are you following me on that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a list of what services you were supposed to complete by January?
mental health, like the evaluation, drug testing, parenting evaluation to see if I need parenting classes. Let's see, visits, and to get a place to live.
Okay. Have you taken care of all those things?
I did out there, like I said, except for the parenting. I did the evaluation, and she said I just need probably a couple weeks of parenting. And I'm already signed up for the moms group out here in Hemet.
Okay. Well, Deanna, parenting class that is ordered by the court in your county usually is 10 to 12 sessions. So you need to start those as soon as possible.
Yeah, I have an appointment already.
Okay. But this is December, and you're running out of time, right?
Yeah, I know. I didn't get out here to California until the beginning of November, and I called right away and made all the appointments, but what they gave me was the soonest they had.
Okay. Deanna, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you my telephone number at my office. I want you to call me, and I'm going to see if I can give you some consultation to help you in your case and maybe help your attorney do the best job possible so you don't lose these two children. All right? So are you ready to write my phone number down? And if you can't write it down, I'll say it. I'll just say it, and then maybe you can play this back. Or I'll have my producer, Grace, give you a call after the show. It's 888-888-6582, 888-888-6582. And Deanna, I want to thank you for being on the show this evening and asking your questions. And maybe you can come back on the show in a few weeks, let us know what's going on. But definitely give me a call. I'd like to help you and give you some more advice, some more detailed advice, okay? All right. Thank you, Deanna. All right. Right now, we're going to add to the live stream Nancy. Nancy posted a comment, and she said she wanted to come on and, I don't know, share her story or ask a question. So, Nancy.
Hi.
Hi. We can't see you, but we can hear you. What question did you have for us?
Okay. So, well, first off, I want to tell you, thank you. And I appreciate all your videos that you do on here, a lot, because it's because of your videos and, learning from what you do and how to fight CPS and everything that I was able to win and get my kids back. But I have another issue. So I have been searching for a lawyer to do a lawsuit against CPS because they wrongfully took my children. And I have a whole lot of things against them. I had worked with a foster care agency called Northern Rivers. And I also have a video of one of their workers saying something to me. And then I called her out on what she said. And then she lied to me in the video saying, oh, I never said that. I don't really know where to begin. I just wanted to know, I don't know how to find a lawyer to do a lawsuit.
Well, what state are you in?
I'm in New York.
Okay. Well, what you need to do is you need to find a civil rights attorney, hopefully one that has some experience in suing CPS social workers, or the county or state, depending on how it's administered in New York. And you can find those by, on Google, Bar Association, referral lists, word of mouth, that type of thing. Because I'm positive that there are attorneys in your state that do these types of cases against CPS for civil rights violations.
Really? Because I looked around. I had to use my rent money to even pay for a lawyer to actually help me with getting my kids back. And I even asked him, and he hasn't actually gotten back to me on it. it's kind of been difficult. I'm not sure if he even wants to deal with my case anymore.
Well, he got your children back for you?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. So he did his job.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that you will find or that type of attorney will do civil rights cases. For example, in California, there are a lot of attorneys that go to court, CPS court, and get your kids back for you, but they don't know or they don't do anything about suing children or suing social workers for civil rights violations. And then there's the opposite is true as well. There's a very well-known attorney down in San Diego by the name of Sean McMillan, who only does civil rights cases against against CPS social workers in counties here in California and in other states, as a matter of fact. But he doesn't go to CPS court to get your children back.
Okay.
So, sometimes, one person, one guy or gal does one thing, but they don't do the other and vice versa. So it's
Yeah.
left up to you to let your fingers do the walking through the yellow pages or through Google or through bar associations to find one. We used to have a host of one of the shows that we do, and she, I think, made 50 or almost a little more than 50 telephone calls before she found someone that was willing to help her. So if you
Really?
haven't made 50 or 60 calls, you're going to have to get busy because
Okay.
there's not a lot of attorneys that practice in this area, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
there's a
that's
lot of reasons for that, but you should find someone, and you're going to have to look in your state.
okay. Okay. Yeah, I did a little bit of searching, but that was kind of while my case was still open. My case had just gotten closed in the end of June.
Uh-huh.
So now that I have a lot of free time and being able to search around, it's I guess I'm gonna have to do a whole lot more searching though. It's not easy. Nobody like wants it's almost like these people are scared to sue CPS because they work for the government.
Yeah, and you're going to find that. You're going to find that no matter what area of practice. Bella Bell has posted, she says, keep fighting, don't give up on your kids, and I wouldn't give up on this case. If you feel you have a righteous civil rights case against some
Oh,
social
I
workers,
do.
definitely, pursue it. What you can do is also give me a call tomorrow and make an
Okay.
appointment to talk to me. I may be able to assist you as well. Triple
That would
eight
be great.
triple eight 6582 888
Okay.
888 6582, and maybe I can give you some information or suggestions, and I would like to hear your story about why you think you have such a good case against the social worker.
Um, well, it's a whole lot, but I can start off with first off, they legitimately broke my door down. They had the cops because I didn't open the door for them. I did have an open case, but I don't always just sit there and open the door for them because I don't feel like dealing with those people. So because I didn't open the door for them, they had the cops there. The cops busted my door and they said, because I didn't open the door, that they were taking my kids. At that time, I didn't know my right. So they took my kids. They put them with somebody that I knew. And then the girl was pregnant. She ended up in the hospital during this time. And that was like toward the end of her pregnancy. And her mom and her grandma lived there with her and her brother and her sister. And there was like a language barrier because her mom only spoke Spanish as well as the grandmother. So they used that to have the kids removed, and they put them in foster care in a completely different area. Like it was like 20 to 30 minutes away. Not even around here. They switched their school and everything. And the details are, let me see, I have a whole list of stuff here. They shared information, my personal information with the foster family, with my own mother. My mom had nothing to do with the case. I'm not sure why they were even still talking to her in the first place. They lied on the father, saying that he was high on drugs at the doctor's appointment for my now 2-year-old, and That was also false, which we also have proof of. They were asking questions, like personal questions, like if I was pregnant again. They allowed my mom to be like around my children. There was already she already had a court order to be able to have FaceTime calls with two of my kids. So they allowed my third child to be around her. They broke the order altogether. They allowed a sex offender around my children, which I also have proof on because it was recorded in court. Somebody admitted that. There was a whole lot more than that. Also, there's the security guard. I went down to the CPS building to get my file. I had requested my file because I was doing my own research and things, and I was looking into things when I started learning my rights by watching your videos. And my CPS case manager there must have spoken to like the security guard or something, because while I was waiting in the waiting room for her to come down with my file, the security guard came at me. He started cursing at me. I had this all recorded, started cursing at me and telling me that he owns that place and I need to leave. And I was like, I'm waiting here. I was told to wait here. And he's just pointing his finger at me. I zoomed in on my phone and got his name in the video, and he smacked my phone, like smacked my hand. So I got him recorded hitting me. And then he lied in the video at one point saying, oh, I didn't hit you, you hit me. And I mean, there's a whole lot more to the story, but I don't want to like take up your whole show time on here.
Sure. Well, Nancy, I appreciate you calling in and sharing that with us. If you want to talk to me about it, give me a call tomorrow at my office, 888-888-6582, and maybe we'll talk about it and see if I can give you any information back there. Did you say you're in New York?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you again, Nancy, and good luck to you. Call in or let us know in a couple of weeks what's going on. You know, I told you to call in. You know, on Saturdays, I do a radio show, a national radio show on ABC, on the KABC network in Los Angeles. You can listen to it in New York at kabc.com. But call into that show. We have a toll-free number, and share with us your story and what's going on in your case in the next 3 or 4 weeks. Okay, Nancy?
All right. Sounds great.
All right. Thank you, Nancy. Bye-bye. All right. Busy night tonight. We have adding to the stream. And let me see if I'm going to pronounce that right. Is it Tinika?
Tianka.
Tianka. Okay, I was close.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How are you this evening?
I'm good. I'm good. And how are you?
Good. Where are you? What state?
I'm in Houston, Texas.
In Texas, the Longhorn State. What's going on there? You know, I was in Houston a few months ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I went there. It was on a stopover actually, but it was long enough that I left the airport and went to a famous or well-known soul food restaurant, and I can't think of the name of it. But Houston's a very green city. I didn't realize. I thought it was just the desert, you know.
Yeah.
But you guys were like on a river and all that kind of stuff. So I was really surprised. Anyway, how can I help you this evening?
Well, basically, my case started down here in Houston back in 2016, and it just recently got closed out back in 2017. So it's all started. My sister, she had needed me to come and pick her and my niece up, and she needed me to bring her out here to Dallas, whatever. And I went and picked them up from where they were, brought them out here, and we got to Dallas. She was asking me if I can, you know, keep her for about a week or two till she gets situated so she can be able to let me bring her back. And I said, okay, you know, no problem. So at the time I was with someone, a boyfriend of mine, and he was suggesting, you know, things would be okay. And we were basically living with a good relative of his. And so I have my two children that I had at the time along with her. her child. So it came close into the weeks, the almost to the second weekend. I was trying to get a hold of her, and it was a hard time. And I just told him, look, we remember where we left her at, so we can try to just go out there and get hold of her and drop my niece off. So during the time I was getting ready to leave to go to get on the road out there, my vehicle at the time, it had started cutting off on me before we really like reached the main highway. And at that time, we were on southwest side of town at that time. And I had to hurry up and pull my vehicle into a complex to get it out the road and to try to park it, to try to see what was going on with it. So we kept trying to make it start. It was like really cutting up really bad. So um, we had to get his relative to come and pick us up, bring us back to the house until we was able to get a wrecker or somebody to come out. To that time come for to get a wrecker to come out to tow the car to his relative's home. So throughout that time, me, him, and the children. The relative was dropping us off for like about a good. We was going over there for about a good 2-3 days or whatever to check on the vehicle to make sure it was still there till we get a record to bring it over to the home. So that last little day had been like the third or fourth day, and no more than about a good 10-15 minutes we got there, and all of a sudden I see two police cars pull up, and they pulled up where we were a little bit behind us in the driveway. And a little bit after that, when they pulled up, I seen a little lady come out walking towards our way. And it was so strange when she came and she approached me. She was very rude. And, she let me know what type of person she was, and from the badge she showed me. So first, when she got there, she was, I don't know where her mind was. Oh, I don't know what country she comes from, but as far as I know, she was asking me, where's the children? Where's the 5 children at? She was looking for a woman with 5 children. She was mistaking it for me. And I'm like, I don't have no 5 children. It's only 3 children around here. That's it. Whoever told you information like that told you the wrong information. So she said, well, anyway, I'm here. I need to take them kids and all this. I said, why you have to take them? What's going on? Well, I got accusations that y'all been living in a vehicle for months and months, and all this stuff is, I'm like, well, where's you getting all this information from? I said, if you have proof, like you saying you have proof, show it to me. Oh, I don't have to show you anything. My manager got me out here, and I don't have to show you no warrant or anything. I could just take them just like that. I say, yeah, of course, I know. I recall you have to have a warrant. And, she didn't have no warrant to show me nothing. So she wound up taking the kids. When she did that, I was finally able to get hold of my sister because I kept trying to really reach her. And I called her and got hold of her, and I told her what had happened. And I told her, if whatever you can do, just try to make a way to get a ride to get down here immediately, because this is something really urgent. So my sister came down in town down here she didn't make it down here about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. But the lady said, I don't care what time she makes down here, long as she makes it down here and y'all come to the office. So we went to the office, and they brought us into this little back room. It was her and the manager over her. And me and my sister was across the table sitting down, and she had these papers and pushed the papers to tell us to sign. And I said, no, we're not signing anything. So she took the papers back and put on the paper across, she wrote, mother refused to sign. So all of a sudden the manager started interrogating us. Like, we was both getting interrogated really bad. Like we was at police station or something, because she kept saying, well, why would you leave your big sister, you abandon your child on your big sister? And it was all this crazy stuff that was coming out their mouth. I know damn well that, you know, it shouldn't have been nothing like that coming out their mouth for how they was really talking to us. So I couldn't go to court the next little day because I had to go to work. But I told my sisters, I say, look, go to court and try to see what's going on. Try to talk with whoever's in there, and you know, and let me know when you come, you know, whenever you come back out of court. So she went to court, everything. So when the time, a little bit after I got off, she got hold of me. We met back up. It's in person, and she was telling me about how the person was in court, and she was very unorganized. The judge had to kind of like yell at her a little bit, like, ma'am, you know, get things together, like you unorganized, what's going on? And she was like laughing at every little thing. I said it's really like weird, it's crazy. Like if you are a worker, you're supposed to be more professional, not be unprofessional like that. So after that I started I was able to go to court. I had to let my job know I had to go to court for a certain reason and stuff like that. So I started going to court. And my sister, it was times when my sister couldn't make it down here because she, you know, had to catch the Greyhound bus from where she was at. And I had to go and fill in at court while she had to call in and let them know she couldn't come because she had to go to work too. So I would go in and they would say certain things. Then they started having another person, agent got over the case, and she was okay, but she was still flip-sided too, and still giving everybody the run around, same treatment and everything. And after her, that's when there was another one, and this one was the one that spoken to my stepmom. My stepmom had volunteered to put in to get the children. So she had to come to court out here. My stepmom had to come way from New Orleans to come out here. So when she came out here, I met her at court and we talked, and I was letting her know what was going on, what happened, you know. So the judge was able to grant her to have the children, but neither did I know that was just a bad idea from jump start, letting her put in to get the children, because probably I want to say like about a few weeks or a month after that happened, the last worker wound up bringing the children down to her, and she told her all this crazy stuff about me and everything, and was telling her that I was when the first worker came out and seen me, I was out on drugs inside the car, sprawled. I'm like, what type of stuff is this? Why would you sit here and lie like that? Like the whole, you could tell was just all the story, everything that was written up in the document at court was nothing but lies. It was like a whole story. She had just threw some jimmer jammer stuff all up through the story, and that was not true. And she told my stepmom all this stuff and told her, well, you're going to be getting funded within a such and such amount of time, so you don't have too much to worry about. But when time came around, I look up again. My dad, I get a call the next month after that. My dad called and he was like, well, I just wanted to let you know, she had the kids put back into custody. I'm like, what you mean? And she said it was just dealing with because she didn't get funded earlier and fast enough how she would have thought. So it's like she let money get to her. So she decided to bring had the kids put back into custody down here, and made it more harder for to try to, get family members to try to get them. And one main family member that was eligible to get them after she putting them back in there for this last worker. The last worker, she was very rude as well. It's like 1 minute it was like a whole game to her, off and on game to her. 1 minute she said, oh yeah, they free to get adopted by family. Then she said, no, the judge don't want them to get adopted. They for us. They belong to the state. Then she'll go back and say, yeah, they're free to get adopted. Like, why is you going through these switches like this? So it got to that point, the last little family member on my kids' dad's side, She was trying to get all three of them, and she had got a little eligible for to get them, but they had to go through all this paperwork for nothing. They had her move out her own house into a bigger house for nothing. Like, she did everything she was supposed to do. She didn't have no background. They fingerprint her. They did all this stuff for nothing. It was like a waste of time. So, in my case, I'm like, when the last worker, before this worker, dad's last worker came, but the previous worker before her, the one that dropped my children and my niece off to my stepmom, her and the DA that me and my sister had when they appointed us a DA in the court, they both didn't even inform. We wasn't even much informed that we were supposed to go and we can go and do an appeal within the 30 days limit. We didn't know nothing about it. We just left blinded. And they told me that my kids' dad rights was taken, my rights was taken, my sister rights was up. Like, how can our rights be all taken? And you already, the worker, she was already telling me that I can let her know if I couldn't make it to the last court date, to let her know, and she would tell the judge, talk with him to see if he could give me and my sister a little more time to finish our little class that we had to do. And probably like about 8, 9 o'clock, I started calling her. I couldn't reach her, so I got a hold of the DA, and he said, "Okay, I'll let someone know." But I'm most likely he didn't let nobody know anything, and neither did her. So probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock, she sent me a text telling me they had took our rights away. But not one time in that text or anything after that did she tell us that we can go and appeal, have the case react open again. We didn't know nothing. And my kids' dad, they were stating that due to the fact of his rights being taken, he supposedly had a chance to come down to put in to get them, but he couldn't come because he was in the hospital. Somebody had did something towards him, and he had to get put in the hospital. He was on fire or whatever. He had burns on him, so he couldn't go. So it really left everybody in blind, because this is our first time ever experiencing something like this. So it's like, where do we have to go for help now, because they didn't took our rights away so doggone quick. And it was our first time ever even going through something like this, and they didn't even inform us nothing about we can go back and do an appeal to reopen the case, and nothing. They didn't tell us anything. So it's like now it's like everything was just stuck off because, the rights took and you can't do nothing, this and that. You got to leave them be till they make 18, all this stuff we was hearing. And we didn't even hear it from other people that, it's possible we still can kind of get a lawyer and say talk with them about it and see if they can go into the case over again and recheck over it and see where things been wrong at with the case and all this other stuff. It was just hearing, like, it was just crazy, because it's our first time, going through this. It's crazy. We had to go through something like this.
Have you had an opportunity to talk to a lawyer in your state?
The few lawyers I did call, because they did tell me I needed to talk to appellate lawyers. I think about 2 or 3 of my call, they was telling me something about, it's close, it's almost like in a 5-year marking, and they wouldn't be able to help me, and I'm like, wow, like it's crazy, because I went through all this. I said, so basically what I'm supposed to do, because they took them for no reason. We were just only having car trouble at this time. So we didn't know, we was unaware of this woman coming around to try to, put something like this on us over something that's simple.
This is what I want you to do. Are you familiar with a federal agency called the Department of Health and Human Services?
Mm-hmm.
And you familiar with the United States Department of Justice Civil Rights Division?
I heard of that. It never really came across my mind, but I heard of that.
So I want you to get on Google, and I want you to look those 2 entities up, and I want you to contact them and perhaps file a complaint with them, because the story you just told me that's outrageous.
Yes, it is.
that this has happened to you. You know, a lot of times I hear these stories,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people say, well, Vince, you know, she must not be telling you everything. She must be holding information back. But I've been doing this for so long, over 30 years, and I know from just my own experiences representing people that crazy stuff like this happens all
Mm-hmm.
the time,
Oh yeah.
all the time. And, you know, a lot of people like you have ended up being wrong and have lost their families to social worker, either incompetence or discrimination, or they just don't like you, you know?
Yeah.
I have a friend, not really a friend, but I went to law school with this guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he's African American, and he got stopped while driving in Beverly Hills. This is years ago, and
Mm.
it was kind of a joke, but it wasn't funny. It was, you know, you were driving while black. He ended up being a politician in California, a state legislator and a state senator. And he was driving an expensive car in Beverly Hills, where, you know, black guy back then, this is 20, 25 years ago, maybe even longer, you know, that was kind of an odd situation, according to the Beverly Hills police. But anyway, you know, so these types of things happen, and people, you know, looking out from the outside inside don't think that these things happen. They
Mm-hmm.
think that social workers are just fair and honest people. Now, don't get me wrong. There are fair and honest social workers.
Yeah.
I've come across them. But are there people that are unfair and not honest? Yeah, I've come across those too. And it's just a shame because, you know, they're affecting you. They're not even trying to put you in jail. They're doing worse. They're taking your kids away from you.
Yeah.
And this is going to, you know, the sad thing is, I mean, it's affected you, no doubt. But the really sad thing is going to have a really bad effect on your children. And we, you know, way the laws are written from state to state, we think that we're actually trying to protect kids. And I don't think enough emphasis is put on the harm that this is affecting children. You know, I just came across a law review article, and it is all about the harm that is caused to children when we remove them in these CPS cases. And I text that article to everyone on my juvenile team in my law office. And the comments that I got, I mean, you'd be surprised. People are shocked that there's really that much harm because, you know, we remove kids like that. Boom, boom, boom. Think nothing of it, you know? And I'm representing a guy right now who has a case in a Southern California county. And his kids were removed, maybe for good reason, maybe not for good reason. We don't know yet. But they wouldn't let the kids stay at home with the mom while my client, the father, moved out, which is a typical thing that happens. They just, you know, he explained the hearing to me where we didn't represent him at this hearing, but they just removed the kids and, you know, put them off someplace in a foster home. And we haven't had the second hearing, but the kids are devastated. He tells me about how the kids cry, about how they want to come home. They miss Thanksgiving, first time ever in their lives, missing Thanksgiving from their family. And I have relatives. We have a bunch of relatives that can take the kids, and it seems like social workers are dragging their feet. And the sad thing is, if the judges knew what these kids are going through, I think they would make different decisions.
Yeah.
But
Most definitely.
the social workers aren't reporting what's happening to these kids.
Oh,
These kids
down here, that's what's been the main priority to these social workers. They've been talking about these social workers on and off real bad down here. I found out probably I think it was like about 2-3 months ago, something like that. Someone told me they'd seen the news down here one day. I think I was at work at that time, and they was talking about how they was just constantly taking these children, but the children that they had got a little bit over capacity or something. They had the kids inside the hotel rooms. I'm like, what sense does that make? Y'all so quick to take these children because y'all want so much money off of them because y'all getting paid per child.
Right.
And I do know that. And my thing is, y'all put them in a place that's not funded for the government anyway. Because y'all out of space for these don't have much what you want to call it, foster caring right now at that point for them. And then there's so many cases I've seen. I have did research myself. I came across a case for down here. I think this happened like back in 2008, 2009, and it was a couple down here, a Caucasian couple. Child was taken away from them from by a supermarket or something, somewhere. I think a supermarket or something at their home or something, and they just took them for no reason. It was a little baby. And then all of a sudden they had to fight with their lawyer, and their lawyer took it to court. And when they went to court, the judge was like, "Hey, y'all didn't get this baby back to their parents. Y'all getting sued. Y'all got to pay them back." And then CPS gave them back the baby, but they wound up getting sued, and they paid out $124,000 to that couple from them taking the baby just for no reason.
Yeah.
Y'all just finding just wrongful things to take children, and that's not the right way to do it.
Right. Listen, I want to thank you for being on the show tonight and sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Call us or call in to the show, to the radio show on the weekends, and let us know in a few weeks. Were you able to find an attorney in Texas that would be able to help you? Now, there's a lot of Texas is a huge place, so just don't look in Houston. Look in Dallas. Look in Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm.
Look in El Paso. Look for an attorney that might be able to help you. Okay.
Okay. So you say I have to look up the
Civil rights.
The civil rights. Okay.
Civil rights attorney.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well, good luck to you, and thank you for coming in tonight.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Alrighty. All right. I think we have time for one other person. I'll add her to the stream. And is it Zaira? Zaira?
Ziera.
Oh, Ziera. I can hear you, but I can't see you. Is that on? Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Are we going to be able to see you this evening, or are you just going to go audio?
I would like to just do audio.
Okay, that's fine.
Is kind of it's not done. So
your hair is not done. Okay. All right. What's going on tonight? Would you want to ask me some questions, or you want to share a story with us? What's up? Sarah?
Oh, I wanted to ask you some questions. Yes.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go ahead. What do you want to ask me? Zaira?
Okay, so I was wanting to ask it.
Okay, we're having technical difficulties.
I don't know. It seems kind of staticky. Is the connect?
Hey, Zaira, I'm going to have to move on if you are not able to ask me any questions, okay? All right. All right, I'm sorry, folks. We were having a bad connection with Zaira there. Let's see. There was somebody watching on one of the platforms had a question, and I think it was Kaylee on our YouTube channel. She asked to stay in my home on a safety resource plan after my failed UA because they said they could tell I can take care of my kids, but now that they're in care, they won't even allow a supervised phone call. Okay, Kaylee, that's quite unusual. I'm not sure what state you're in, but if you were in California, unless your family reunification services have been terminated, and even so, in a lot of those cases, you have ongoing visitation. It's a court order, and it's a matter of right, unless your case unless your visitation has been terminated for some reason. Now, there are reasons why judges sometimes stop visitation, but those are those are things that the judge does, not necessarily the social worker. So, Kaylee, in order to remedy that, what I would do is I would contact my attorney, tell him or her what's going on, and ask them to come up with a plan so that they can remedy that situation. Okay? And if you have any further questions for me, Kaylee, give me a call tomorrow, 888-888-6582. All right, I had gotten a lot of inquiry about the movie clip that I showed at the beginning of the show. So I'm going to play that movie clip one more time as we end the show tonight. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. on some of these same social media platforms. And tomorrow, our one of our most popular shows, CPS Family Unification Coaching and Motivation, which is hosted by Aaron Carranza. And sometimes I jump on the stream as well to answer questions. So tomorrow at 7 p.m., make sure that you tune in. And here is that movie clip.
They say that they're interested in taking care of the little innocent ones. They're not taking care of our son. They told us they could do a better job than us, Doc. That's what they said.
If I could say anything to a mother who just got their children detained, you're in a crisis. Life feels like it's over. The most important thing is regaining custody of your children.
The child welfare system at its core is designed to protect children who need protection. Okay, and that's key, is who need protection.
So social workers, out of fear, will remove more children rather than only remove those children that truly need to be removed.
The difference between the criminal system and the child welfare system is substantial. You have more rights as a criminal than you do as a parent.
You're not proving your guilt, innocence, or anything. You're proving how better a parent you are to the system. And you're just driving to be the parent.
Typically associate blessing with this fictional, painless existence and things going as we think they should.
Because it's so frustrating when you're the parent and you feel like, the judge, he doesn't know. And like you said, who is he going to believe? The parents accused of these horrendous allegations, or the social worker? Why would she lie about it?
The kids are traumatized, and the one person that they need to go to is still unsure what really happened.
Were there signs there? Were there no signs? Did I miss them? Did I catch them? At this point, I honestly don't know.
Families only get a finite amount of time to reunify.
The families are destroyed, sometimes never to come back the same.
Come here, Kids are not safe in child protective services.
So my son with special needs has been in 4 different homes. It doesn't seem real.
This isn't someone stole your car. Someone broke into your house. This someone took your child. Your flesh and blood.
All right. Good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. with Aaron Carranza, CPS Family Reunification Coaching and Motivation. Good night.